Hello. Waiting to see if you go live is still so strange to me. Um, happy, it is Thursday. Happy Thursday, June 11th. So I hope that the title header self-massage isn't too misleading, because I'm imagining that you don't have all the toys that I have at home to like jab into body parts and move muscles around. So I tend to, in the self-massage series, do more, oh, and there's my assistant. Yeah, he's probably gonna leave now. Bye, Charlie. Do more soft tissue release like stuff through manipulation, like putting a body part in a position and holding it and trying to breathe through allowing something to release. Similar to how you might do in yoga, but maybe a little bit different, but similar, adjacent. Okay, so today, if you just have a singular tennis ball, get your singular tennis ball. If you have something like this, use something like this. If you are not next to a door frame, get yourself next to a door frame. I'll demo on our door frame that's right over here. But go ahead and take the computer or whatever you're watching on over to that door frame. I also do this in the morning. I've kind of set up the situation for myself because I have some left previous shoulder injury, car accident stuff that is acting up with all of these stressful times. So if I get it right, I can hang on to, just with my fingers, not with my shoulder, hang on to the handle on our freezer while I make coffee in the morning. So I can multitask and open my shoulder while I wait for our coffee to do the slow drip business. So get creative with how you can do these things. If you don't really have a door frame like that, like whatever you can do, if you have a chair that you know that won't move, if you can hook yourself up, get yourself lower to the floor and do that for some of the manipulation stuff that we'll do today. Great. I trust that you will be creative in this time and figuring out how to open up your body. Hi, buddy. I know. You were sleeping, and somehow when I start, you decide you need to go to the bathroom or need attention. He says hi. Hi, everybody. Get yourself in a comfortable seat. If you want to sit in a chair, do that. We're going to do some stuff before we stand up and then before we roll around on the floor. So just as you're here, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Just start to check in. Like, do you feel subscap stuff underneath your shoulder blades when you lift things into your ears? Does your neck get more tense when you lift things into your ears? What happens to your chest as you roll the shoulders back and down? Do your ribs really want to kick forward? What happens if you drop the shoulders straight down? Do you feel a little stretch here at the front of the chest, maybe even into a little bit of pec, frontal chest underneath collarbone action? Just do that a couple times. So like intentional, smooth, slow motion moving. Just notice as you do this, if the neck wants to do a lot of the work by like tensing up and freezing, see if you can keep it smooth and gentle, and then go the other way while still making it like a large movement. Okay. I don't really like to end on a forward action because I tend to have a kyphosis moment where your upper back wants to round even more into its natural curve and take the shoulders forward. So I'll take a few more rolling up, back, and down, and maybe even pause on a back bend. I'm holding the fronts of my knees, or you could hold something out in front of you. You could hook your hands underneath the table. Hold on to something so you can lock out the elbows. And again, just use the fingertips. I'm not using really any other arm muscle here. Leaning back and then lifting the sternum. Leaning back and lifting the sternum. If you're not already breathing deep here, breathe deep. You can kind of sway side to side here. It's interesting, I'm feeling that more on the right. Swaying side to side. Pulling against as I lean to the left, the right arm, as I lean to the right, the left arm. I'm leaning the head back on a diagonal when I turn to the side. Back on the diagonal. So you find that line of tension in the arm. Or if you let go of the fingertips, you just fly backwards. Pause, leaning back, tension in both arms, puff up the chest, little belly in, and then look over one shoulder. Soften the chin into chest. And maybe this is a really small movement. If you have a lot of neck tension or injury, bring it back to the center, and then do the other side. You can certainly continue to do that and play with where you feel the chest puff or not, and how the head of your shoulder interacts with that, and how all of that affects the neck, and especially as you start to take the gaze from side to side. Otherwise, before we take the action here, a little squeeze in the shoulders, exhale, drop them down, and do that a couple times. Squeeze the shoulders up, exhale, drop them down, squeeze up, exhale. Awesome. Take your head to one side. I'm leaning to the left. Make sure the spine is nice and long and strong. Kind of hook the elbow up and over top. And the head is still going directly to the side, not nose into armpit. Hang out here, reach long in the diagonal just for a second. I already feel a little bit of stretch. This is more in neck. Land for me anyway. And then bring your arm up to a goalpost. So again, I'm not pulling with this hand, just using the weight of the arm for a little bit of an extra something. You could always do it without the hand overhead. Hold your hand wide like you're holding a ball and lean the hand back. Lean the hand back. So now we're opening up shoulder girdle, neck, and finding some rotation there in the arm. I'm holding something in the hand and I'm letting that weight lean the wrist back. So that drops the head of my shoulder even more open, my shoulder blade even more down the back. Take one more breath there, and keeping the elbow right in line with the shoulder, drop the fingertips down without letting the whole shoulder girdle dip forward. Keep the head of the shoulder dipping back, and drop the fingertips back and try to push into the wall behind you. Let that go. If the head is tender, take the fingertips to the side of the head and push yourself back up. Just feel what you feel. I feel so much more open on that side. Taking the other side. Arm or no arm, up and over. Keep puffing up the chest. Drop the ear down. This is a side where I have to really actively, sorry about the hacking dog, take the head of the shoulder back and down and reach along the diagonal. Like there's something on the floor just beyond your fingertips that you really, 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 really want. Take a big inhale here. Take a big exhale. When you have fluid on your lungs, that's just what happens. You hack a lot. Take your arm into goalpost, elbow right in line with the shoulder, and then dip the hand back, the wrist back. Maybe it like doesn't even move at all. I feel like I did basically nothing, but holy guacamole, do I feel it. Breathe here. Exhale. If you have a tighter side, you can always take a couple more breaths. Take the hand down, keep the head of the shoulder back and down how you can, then push the wall away behind you. Again, maybe the arm barely moves, but how does it feel? 3, 2, 1. Release the arm overhead, and then maybe push your head back up to center. Tiny movements, maybe some stillness. How do things feel? Maybe lift the chest. Big inhale. Big exhale. Okay. Be gentle with these two. Be gentle with these two. Keeping the lift of the chest, dropping the chin into the chest. Hang out here for a moment. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you take the hands back of the head, and again, you're not pulling down, letting the elbows flop in. And it's like as the chin comes into the chest, this like T1 situation right here, my first thoracic vertebra, it's like someone has a string attached to that. They're pulling it long. So as my chin comes into my chest, I'm lifting up my collarbones are wide. Maybe I start to feel some stretch and opening radiate downward in between the shoulder blades. Take a big inhale here. Take a big exhale. Unwind, and if you need to, push the head back up to center. Taking neck opening, little bit shoulder opening, little bit chest opening, because all of this really is interconnected in a pretty complicated way. Not as complicated as, say, maybe the foot, but pretty complicated. And interlace the hands behind the head and start to lean. Now the string is attached to my sternum, right here in the center of the chest. It's lifting up, not ribs forward, taking me into lumbar curve. I don't be taking tension into my low back. I don't want that. If I have a chair that hits me mid-thoracic, I can get on a chair that hits me mid-thoracic and help with just allowing the stretch to be in the upper back and the shoulders. Might feel a little bit of shoulder action as the elbows come wide out to the side. And I'm trying to find that feeling of now my wrists are both simultaneously dipping back. And how can that allow the rib cage to open up? Puff up here, use the hands as a pillow for the head. Let the elbows go wide and puff up the chest. If it feels okay for the neck, so I'm not dropping the head back, that's a different action. I'm keeping my cervical curve long. It's like now my head is reaching long on the diagonal. I could do a double hand situation here of dipping my fingertips back, taking my elbows forward, and puffing up my chest. 3, do something. 2, 1, and if the head needs help, bring it back to the center again. No pressure on the neck. So kind of working our way up towards that chest opening moment there. Lateral opening. Making our way to our door frame. Make sure there's a part of something that you can hold and hook the fingers onto, because we're going to lean the body weight back and away. Here we go on a journey. Setting you here on the radiator. You know, get creative. Even with how you're filming, finding your way to your door frame. I'm hooking my hands, so if you want to see it from this side, hooking my fingers around the door frame and then pulling away a little bit above shoulder height, hooking on the door frame. And then I want to lean straight away from my wrist, the line of the wrist. So I don't want to be leaning forward for this one. Or leaning behind the wrist. See what I just did with my chest? I turned it to the side. Everything's in a straight line. You might feel this down the forearm. Probably first you feel it here in the shoulder. Here in the shoulder, the pec, maybe a little bit the neck. You might get a little bit of neck action if you lean long on the diagonal. It's like someone's lifting your side chin here. Your side chin being your jawline. I think I just made that up. And then once things start to open up, you might feel it radiate down more into the bicep. You could be able to feel it radiate around the elbow, depending on where you keep tension. At least 5 good breaths here. So again, maybe you're watching something cook on your stove. What a cool time to hang onto something like the handle on your fridge and lean away for 5 breaths. Take one more. Feel free to, there it is, play with the neck position. We take the chin into the chest, but keep pulling away. So my pelvis is also leaning away as well. Like my left leg that's over here, I can even lift it up off the floor. Bring yourself back neutral, then release the arm. Feel how you feel. Let's do the other side. I'm gonna turn this way so I can keep facing you. So a little bit above shoulder height. Maybe feet a little bit wider than hips so you can find the weight shift of the pelvis away from that working arm. Just hooking the fingertips and trying to let everything else relax. Around pec, around shoulder. Maybe leaning the head away, maybe lifting your jawbone, your side chin. Your jawbone up a little bit. Ooh. Seeing if you can slowly allow it to radiate farther down the arm. Depending on where you keep tension, you'll feel it in different places. You have like some repetitive stress stuff happening from if you type on the computer a lot, maybe you feel this more in the wrists. Imagine a musician maybe feeling this farther down the arm. Take one more breath. Plant the feet, lift yourself up, release that out, feel what you feel. Take a breath. Bring yourself back down to your mat or whatever you're using. Now using body weight and our fantastical two friends. They don't have names yet. I feel like I need to name my tennis balls. Okay. So getting ourselves some pressure on the outer arm. Maybe continuing on the journey where we've been going, opening around the collarbone, the pec action, neck here. It's like, remember when planking was a thing? People would plank on stuff. We do a little side planking here. So I set myself up fully on my side body, the arm right underneath the body, and I can flex my feet and use my toes for a little balance. I could keep my hand on the floor. So really this is more of a balancing pose. But the more I lift the head up in line with the spine, so here, not on line with the spine, if you can see it down my center body, I can lift it up in line with the spine. Ooh, I feel that on my neck. Now maybe this is one that you don't feel, that's okay. Breathe here. But also just to have some pressure, and you can shift what's happening in the torso, but do that slowly and gently. Letting pressure on your deltoid should feel pretty good. I'm not going to stay there too long. Bring yourself to the other side. Flip here. So just like I'm standing with my arm straight to my side. Now that I can see myself in frame, definitely keep myself pretty honest about how my chest and my hips are. Flex your toes. If you find some balance, feel free to use your hand out in front of you. Lift the head up. So weird what you feel more on one side than the other side. Take one more breath where you are. And then just put your hand down, brace yourself, roll yourself to your belly. 2 actions here now with our friends. So if you have a singular ball, it doesn't really matter if I'm saying diagonal or not, but if you have 2, you are going to take it on the diagonal with the top ball leaning more in towards your center line. I don't know if you can see that. I'm leaning in more towards the center line. So as I place it underneath the shoulder, it's on the diagonal, not flush with my spine. You could do that. I personally don't think that feels very good. We've done this one before, taking it on the diagonal, find a place in the meat of the chest where you feel it, and then let the other arm, or the arm on the ball side of the body, turn in and melt over. Opposite leg, if you're not feeling enough, goes out to the side. Maybe you get some fun inner thigh stretch as well. Let both sides of the pelvis come toward the floor. Your other arm can be out anywhere. I kind of like it in the goalpost position. And then look, if I have the ball on the right side, I'll look to the left. Will probably be most best for the neck. Just try to get heavy over the ball. And if you're still not feeling things, you can change where the ball is positioned underneath you. Sometimes I really have to get underneath my collarbone, stuff up there. Also, if you have flesh on your chest, that's going to change things a little bit. You might need to put your tennis ball on a block underneath you. You need to put your tennis ball on a block. I can also straighten out. So now I have my left elbow lifted, straighten out my left leg, so I'm rolling a little bit more to my right side, and that is where it is for me today. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale. Big exhale. Inhale. Big exhale. Bring it back to the center. Big toes together, heels wide. Take the ball out. Maybe make it a pillow for your forehead. And just pause with the arms out and feel what you feel. So really noticing, not just with your mind, your thoughts, but allowing the nervous system to feel the differences between the sides here before we shift. So noticing even where we need to make shift for the nervous system. On this side. Leg out to the side, maybe arm in a goalpost. And I tell you what, I do not need to straighten my leg here. And I will say, while we're laying here breathing, be soft around this tennis ball, that how you sleep affects your fascia, and it can even change it. Change your fascia. So one of the things I feel like has been happening in my shoulder, so I've started trying to sleep on my left side. I don't even think I know I'm doing it. In the middle of the night, I wake up, things don't feel so great. Breathe. So if you hold your fascia in a position for a long time, hence the sleeping example, it will start to shift, even if it's like a postural thing during the day. It will start to shift. Then unwind. Ooh, pause, and then we'll do one last situation, and I think that's our time. Take a big inhale where you are. Oh yeah, big exhale. Perfect. Flipping yourself over onto your back. Even if you did one of these things a day for like a week and just seeing what shifts, giving yourself that moment. Setting the ball, helpful if I showed you, I'm very excited to do this one. In between, so here's my shoulder blade, feel my shoulder blade, here's my shoulder head, here's the base of my neck, kind of like happy medium, not towards the shoulder head, not on top of the shoulder blade, not on the spine, right in that meaty business in between shoulder blade and spine, just below the base of the neck, the top of the shoulder here. Okay, you're probably having your feet to the floor. You can put both balls underneath you if you like. This time it will probably be in a more vertical situation unless you want to put one on either side of the spine. Depending on how it feels for your body. You could try some mobility stuff here, taking like a cactus arm but elbow into your side. More of a robot situation with your robot arm up and take it down. Notice where you feel things and maybe pause there. Everything trying to drop into the floor and around the ball with your feet on the floor. You lift your butt ever so slightly. You can just see how high you would like to lift the seat. To what pressure you would like. Breathe deeply. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Roll to one side, take the ball out. Ah, well, that was the surprise of the day that I didn't know that stuff was there. How about you? So we're going to do the other side. Other side. Totally perfect to just be here and be absolutely still. It feels right. Your body is called to do it. Not letting the elbow wing out to the side, because that will make the space in between your shoulder blade and the spine shorter. We want to make that space wider, in the space for the tennis ball to soften into tissue. Want to lift the seat or not, now is the time. Breathe. Take one more long exhale. Lean away from the ball side of the body, both sides of the body on the floor. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And roll onto one side. Bring yourself up to seated. I could lay down and take a nap there. Sit tall. Feel how you feel. Shoulders up, back and down. Bring up any of the feelings. Feel your feelings. Observe them for a second. But thank you for being here today for Neck and Shoulders Revisited. Did a few different things than the last time. If you feel like you need more neck and shoulders, maybe you go back, watch the other video, have 30 more minutes of chill time. But today I start the beginner series. I've really been promoting this too much. Just giving space for other things, but feel free to share, to watch, to like that video as well. Going through a 10-week series of yamas and niyamas, the philosophical principles, the basic principles, the way for being in the world and being with yourself, according to yogic philosophy, and pairing that with asana. So they'll be shorter, 30 minutes practice, asana being the poses in yoga, and breaking things down of like where the body needs to be, what things mean in Sanskrit, or how they can be interpreted. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about offering that. And then the 6:30 class that usually happens here Thursday nights is moving to Zoom. So feel free to message me for the link. So I think great. If you know somebody who needs this video, send it to them. Thanks, bye.